Amanda. Hi.
Amanda's here. Cool. You know
That's
her.
fun.
Awesome.
Hi,
Yeah.
ladies.
I love it. All right. So we are recording and we are live in workplace. Let me just make sure we are fully live. Yep. Okay. Awesome. Hi, you guys. Welcome back to EXP Family Tree. Those of you who are watching from there, those of you that are watching from wherever you are here on Zoom, welcome. We open this call up every Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern, to anybody and everybody in the industry that wants it. This is simply just free education. I love to bring the people that I'm connected with throughout the United States and throughout the world to the people that just want to join us, because there's a lot of amazing people out there doing great things. And I'm a firm believer, if we surround ourselves with and we learn from others, we join conversations with that. Those are the conversations we grow into. And that's how we become the person we want to be. So thanks to you guys who continue to watch live every Wednesday. I was just sharing with Sarah, this has now been 2.5 years of live calls. You guys have stuck with it. Just a reminder, this is live streamed in EXP Family Tree. We'll be there forever, so you can go back and watch this later. Tag your friends in it if they couldn't watch it live. We will have this up on my YouTube channel within 24 hours as well. So if you want to share it with somebody else that way, and that's easier for you, please do that. Join anytime. If you guys are watching live and you want to join the Zoom to be more interactive, just join. I'll let you in. And last but not least, please raise your hand, be interactive, chat in the chat box, throw your comments below the live stream. I'll monitor that as well for Sarah, because we do want it to be interactive and we want you guys to get out of it what you want. So really quickly, I'm just going to do an introduction because I've known Sarah. I've been trying to think about this, Sarah, how long I've known you, but it's been over 5 years, and it could be longer than that. We've
I
kind
I
of
think it's 7.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, time flies. I have a hard time realizing how long, in fact, that I've known people. So 7 years I've known Sarah. I was introduced to her through the real estate industry at my former company. And I was always just really inspired by her personality, she's just driven. And it's like, if this is what I want to do, I'm going to go do it. And I love to bring inspiring people in front of you, but not only is she just acts inspiring, she actually does the things she talks about. She's taken risks. She has done some amazing things in her young life. And I hope that it inspires you to do some of those same things today, or just something else that you want to do just because you heard Sarah's story. So Sarah is an author. She's mute if we can, you guys, please. Thank you very much. So Sarah is an author, a speaker, a coach, a real estate investor, a business owner. She travels the country coaching real estate agents and hosting retreats for investors. We're going to talk about that. So Invested Adventures is where she hosts these epic events for real estate investors. And by the way, those are all over the world. I'm sure she's going to tell us about that. She's taken trips like hiking Patagonia, exploring Tanzania on an African safari, some amazing things. She also has a design service that helps investors analyze, furnish, and launch their furnished rentals nationwide. And of course, she has the Sarah Weaver Mentorship Program, which serves investors looking to grow their portfolios no matter where they live. And the thing that I love about this, and you saw the title, it's investing in markets where you don't live, outside of your area. Sarah owns 19 units in 4 states. 9 are furnished rentals. All of them she self-manages from afar. And she does it while she's traveling, and she's traveled to 50 countries on 6 continents and has been fully nomadic since January of 2019. And I actually was talking to you, Sarah, during COVID, when you were in a very unique situation because you were trying to figure out where the heck you were going to go, and you were living in a van, right? Do I remember this
Yeah.
correctly?
Yeah, I don't usually like telling luxury real estate agents that I lived in a van. So let's be really clear. I lived in a van in New Zealand. And so it
Because
was
you
like,
had to find a place to live during COVID and get out of where you were, right?
well, I was living in Bali. And so
Okay.
not really, like Bali was
Okay.
also a dream.
Yeah.
And you guys, I like, as much as I would love to just be a trust fund baby and not work, I've always, been employed and then went full-time self-employed after COVID in 2021.
Yeah.
And so I was living in Bali, working full-time for a real estate agent at her brokerage. And so what's really fun about today is that agents, you guys are my favorite people to teach, because right now only 3% of real estate agents own rental properties.
Mm.
And I am on a mission to change that. And so I was a real estate agent. Usually I joke and I say I was a real estate agent for about 5 minutes, because it was truly like full time, doing the things that we
Yeah.
do as real estate agents for 11 months. And then I got hired on by a company where we hired assistants and administrative staff for real estate agents and brokerages. So think of I know EXP has a different model as far as like you don't have like an in-office assistant, but a lot of you likely have a showing assistant, a transaction coordinator, maybe even a personal assistant, executive assistant, marketing coordinator.
Yeah.
Those are all of the people that my company that I work for placed. And so what's really nice is that you guys, I know what your days look like because I was an agent, and then for 4.5 years, I placed staff with real estate agents. And so today I'm so excited to talk to you guys because I really want to see what I'm talking about today to just be something that you do in addition to what you're already doing. So I'm not here to tell you to quit being a real estate agent and travel the world, even though I love that Amanda's here because that's exactly what she's doing. Um, but if you guys want just like more streams of income and quote unquote passive income and cash flow, that's what we're going to cover today. And it'll be specifically for you guys for real estate agents.
Awesome.
Cool. Should I share
Love
my
it.
screen?
I'm
Are we
excited.
ready?
Yes, please do.
All
We've got
right,
a few
guys.
people watching live. So hi to you guys. Make sure you comment if you have questions. And those of you that are here, make sure you use the chat box if you want to. But Sarah, take it away.
Yeah, and you guys, this really is like, I mean, it's a Wednesday afternoon. I'm in beautiful Newport, California, but this is absolutely for you guys. So if you have questions, please don't be shy. If I throw in an acronym like DTI or BRR and you're like, I don't know what that means, please, please, please stop me. This is for you guys. So hopefully you have your fingers on the chat. Carrie's going to do a good job of watching that. And then I have the Zoom chat pulled up for those of us that are in the Zoom link. So I titled this Financially Free in 5 years or Less with Medium Term Rentals for two reasons. I really think it's possible you guys can become net worth millionaires if you're not already in 5 years or less. I think that you can create enough income from your rental portfolio to cover your basics. Are you going to be, driving a Lamborghini off of crappy rentals in 5 years? Maybe not. But I am making $10,000 to $14,000 a month profit. That's not revenue. Revenue's significantly more than that. But I'm doing 10K to 14K per month in profit, pure profit. And that's what I want you guys to do as well. This was possible I did it in about 3.5 years. And I was making about $50,000 a year while I was doing this. So my hope is you guys are way better at selling houses and building a business. You're making significantly more than $50,000. And if you live in an expensive market, which I know a lot of you do, you absolutely have to be making more money than that. And it's one of the many reasons why I focus on out of state investing. So during this presentation, we're going to talk a lot about investing in other markets. But if you are a real estate agent in a market that it does make sense to invest in your backyard, please, by all means, invest in your backyard. I will definitely be talking about that. And I think it's really, really important that you understand that I don't think it's necessary to invest out of state. However, 83% of Americans live in what we could deem an expensive market in real estate investing. So likely 83% of you live in an expensive market. Next, we're going to talk about medium-term rentals. And if you don't know what a mid-term rental or a medium-term rental is, you will by the end of this presentation. So let's tell you a little bit about me. Why did Cari bring me on to talk about this? I'm a real estate investor and an entrepreneur. This is me skydiving in Spain. And when I'm not investing in real estate, I am traveling. I've traveled to, I think it's 53 countries on 7 continents. And so I need to update that. Travel is my why. It's definitely why I do what I do. I keep thinking eventually I will slow down and get a house and a boyfriend, but I just keep traveling because it's too fun. And I'm building businesses while I do it. So I've worked remotely for 8.5 years and I've been fully nomadic, meaning it's like a fancy way of saying homeless. So I own quite a bit of homes, but I don't live in any of them for the last 5 years. I'm actually on a US road trip right now. So Kendra, you're in Phoenix. I was in Phoenix last week. I stopped in Albuquerque for 2 days. And now I'm going to be in Newport Beach for a month because a lovely client of mine offered me a house for a month. And who would say no to a beach house in Newport? So I own 19 rental units. It's 8 buildings. So they're mostly duplexes and fourplexes, and they're located in 4 US states: Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, and Iowa. As a world traveler, I did not dream of, ooh, I really want to own an Airbnb in Nebraska. No, those words never came out of my mouth. Yet that's exactly what I own. I own Airbnbs in Nebraska, which you guys will see why by the end of this presentation. And then most importantly, my businesses fit my lifestyle. So my hope is that you're running your real estate business as truly a business. I mentioned that I place transaction coordinators, assistants, listing agents, all these types of, support staff for real estate agents. And these agents that were my clients for years are truly fitting their business around their lifestyle. Not only are they going on great vacations, but they're picking their kids up from school if that's important to them, or they're attending events with their family if that's important to them. And as I've mentioned, travel is important to me. So if you're here with me in the Zoom chat, go ahead and let me know in the chat what's important to you. Like what do you want to spend more time doing? For some of you, it's buying a bicycle that costs as much as my car and riding it for 7 hours on a Saturday. That's not my dream, but good for you guys. Love my, triathletes and Ironman friends. For some of you, you want to spend more time with your kids. For some of you, you want to spend significantly less time with your kids. Whatever that thing is, I want you guys to be thinking about that when I talk about travel, because truly, this is why we invest in real estate. Sure, I love real estate. I'm sure a lot of you do too, but I love what real estate allows me to do even more. And it's allowed me to do really cool stuff with even cooler people. And all of this is possible. So this is me on my 7th continent. And you guys will hear more about this later, but my company, Invested Ventures, I actually took real estate agents and real estate investors with me on this trip. So talk about a really cool business trip. We checked off a bucket list experience. For a lot of us, it was our 7th continent. And all of this is possible because I said yes. So I want it to be really, really clear that you guys can buy a dinky duplex in Iowa. It's not that hard. I promise, promise, promise you can do it. And I think by the end of this, you'll understand why it's worth it. And you know what's really cool about being a real estate agent is you guys can get referrals when you do this. So if you can build a relationship with investor-friendly agents in other states, likely through EXP networking, you guys can, feed each other referral fees and commission. And so being a real estate agent is like the coolest tool in your toolbox. That I don't get to say that in every presentation I do, because often I teach high income earners how to invest in real estate. But you guys, real estate agents, I think that you have this like special power that not enough of you are using. So as I've mentioned, I buy boring buildings and boring markets. This is my first rental. It's so stinking cute. It's in a town name that's even cuter. It's called Prairie Village, Kansas. Please let me know if we have any Kansas people in the live or in the Zoom. But yeah, I bought this first rental property. I was 27 years old, and I bought this knowing that it was going to be a rental property. I think I knew back then that rentals were the way to build wealth. I figured I'd just buy one property every, I don't know, 2 to 3 years, and in 10 years I'd own 7 to 10 buildings and hopefully could live off of that for the rest of my life. Little did I know I'd pick up 8 buildings in about 3 years and write a bestseller. And now I travel the world. I've actually presented in Canada, Mexico, and Thailand. So after I spoke in Thailand, I finally was like, okay, I am an international speaker. And I teach people how to do this because I really think it's simple, it's possible. You can do it without losing your mind, losing sleep. It's all possible. So how is it possible? The first thing you need to do is you need to create deal flow from anywhere in the world. Everybody has one of these in their pocket, and that's exactly what I used to create deal flow. I got Google Voice for anyone looking to improve their tech stack. Cannot recommend Google Voice enough because now my virtual assistant in the Philippines has access to it. And then also, if I ever meet dudes at a conference, I don't have to give them my number. I give them my Google Voice, and my VA can, screen their text. So what I did is I built relationships with agents. That is why I love teaching real estate agents because I love working with you guys. So I built a relationship with a real estate agent in Omaha, Nebraska through a Facebook group. So all I did was I went into Facebook and I typed in real estate investing Omaha, rentals in Omaha, investors in Omaha, anything that I could think of that was related to real estate investing. And I joined a bunch of groups. So for those of you looking to network outside of EXP, then I recommend these Facebook groups. That's exactly how I found Chris. I built a relationship with him. I let him know that I was serious. I was pre-approved. I'm not a looky-loo. I'm not going to waste your time, Mr. Agent, because I'm not one of those investors. So I think that is really important that everyone hears this. There are investors out there like me that won't waste your time because I hear from agents all the time that say, oh, I'd hate working with investors. They just waste my time. Well, guess what? Chris did not have to walk the property until I was under contract. Chris knew that I would get to the closing table because I was serious and I had multiple ways that I could fund this deal. And now Chris and I are buds. And, I sent his kids a present last year. He's going through a hard time and we're buds and we text on a regular basis. And this is the kind of relationship that I hope you as an agent can have with your clients as well as an investor working with other agents. So I'm about to show you the actual text message that I sent Chris. Now, yes, Cari was right. I was living in a van down in New Zealand. I usually don't like to lead with that, Cari, because it's like, wait,
I
why are
thought
we
it was
listening to this girl?
amazing. My perspective was that sounded like a freaking dream. And the fact that you were just like working there and doing that like blew my mind. I thought it was awesome.
I want to be clear, in the van, I had my nails done, fake eyelashes. So
Okay, yeah, you weren't like homeless living in a van. You were like it was like a perpetual vacation in New Zealand on the ocean in a really cool van.
and during COVID. And so
And
I
during
know a
COVID.
lot and I
Hey,
know a
how
lot of
many of
you
us
had
would
a
have
really
liked to
hard time.
be in New Zealand in a van during COVID? I'm just going to tell you, I would have liked to be there.
It was incredible, Carrie. I came back from being in New Zealand. I was in New Zealand for 15 months during COVID, and I missed a life experience that you guys all have. I came back, I attended a women's conference in the fall of 2021, and everyone was sharing their experience, aka trauma. And I was just sitting there trying to hide my smirk, like I had the best year ever. And I exploded my real estate portfolio, which you guys are going to hear. But truth be told, it was a life by design. And so that is something that I was really intentional about. I didn't sit around waiting for a boyfriend to come join me traveling, which frankly I would have really enjoyed. I just was said, you know what, I'm sick of waiting. I'm sick of waiting for, life to happen. Life is happening right now. And so New Zealand was definitely a dream. I thought I'd be there for 3 months, but COVID extended it to 15. And what's really cool is that the text I'm about to send you, this is from my time in New Zealand. So I was analyzing deals, analyzing markets, growing relationships with investor friendly agents. And if you guys look on a globe, not a map, I don't know if anyone even has globes anymore, but New Zealand is 8,000 miles away. People kind of forget about the curvature of the earth. It is 8,000 miles away from Omaha. So I almost couldn't have gotten further away from Omaha, Nebraska. And I did all of this with a cell phone. So let's dive in. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read this text to you, but feel free to screenshot it if you guys would like. So here's the actual text I sent. Hi, Chris. I got distracted the past 2 months and realized that was a mistake. I'm 100% committed to buying in Omaha. Clearly, I'm a little dramatic as well. I want a value add 2 to 4 unit property with $250 of cash flow per month per door. I'm open to up to $15,000 of renovation of reno if the numbers make sense. I want Omaha. And then I put a smiley face to let them know I'm friendly. Price under 200,000 if a 2 unit, up to 400,000 if a 4 unit. Yes, for you Californians, these are actual realistic prices. I have a lender, I'm pre-approved and ready. I have access to hard money if I need to position myself for a quick 2 week close, but would much prefer to use conventional financing. Now, agents, I know a lot of you are watching on the live stream, but for those of you in the Zoom, let me know in the chat, have you ever received a text like this from a client or an investor? Or if you're already investing, are you sending text messages like this? No. Listen, this is how to be a great client to an investor-friendly agent. As agents, you likely already know how to be a good client because you wish your clients were always good clients. But being a good client shoots me to the top of Chris's list. Now, usually if I'm teaching this live, I ask the audience, what do you guys think happened? But I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. 4 days later, you guys look at that. 4 days later, March 18th to March 22nd, he texted me, I have a fourplex for you. If I had known that I would show this text message to now over 10,000 people, I would have responded more professionally and polished. But this is me. I said, Yahoo, let's see it. And then he sent me this photo. Again, I would usually ask you, what do you guys think happened? But for the sake of time, I'm going to tell you, I bought that sucker. And I bought that from New Zealand. I waited until I actually closed. I hired someone to even furnish one of the units. The other 3 units were occupied. And then and only then did I sell my van, yes, almost for a profit, and then flew the almost 32 hours that it took to fly from Auckland to Omaha, Nebraska. Now, it's really important that you guys understand I had been to the suburbs of Omaha because I have an aunt that lives there. I'm not close to this aunt. This aunt has never even seen this rental property. She barely answers my phone calls. And so I have no connection to Omaha other than I liked that it hit all of my metrics, which I'm going to share with you guys. And then I found this kick-ass agent that sends really good deals. And so I grew up in Kansas City. For those of you, again, Californians that don't know where Kansas is, I grew up 3.5 hours south of this. So it's a pretty long distance. So I don't have any necessarily ties to Omaha, Nebraska, but I liked the numbers and I liked that this was located next to a level 1 trauma hospital, as well as multiple hospital complexes. That will make more sense as we kind of go on. But there's me. I had actually showed up about 20 minutes before my photographer showed up to the property. If anyone else is like a high D on the disc, I love efficiency. So I'd wasted no time. I had it photographed like the day that I got to Omaha, Nebraska. Thank God I liked the building and the area because that would have been really awkward to have to pretend that I liked what I bought. And then I furnished it. And more importantly, I hired people to furnish it for me. And then I posted these photos on the internet. As you guys can see, those of you, selling luxury, $2, $3, $4, $5 million homes, there's nothing incredibly luxury or unique about this unit, except that it's really cute. And it's definitely designed on a budget with like tasteful, thoughtful design. Is it perfect? Of course not. But is it really beautiful? Absolutely. And more importantly, it's way better than my competition. My competition in Omaha, especially in 2021, were what I like to call like very ugly granny units. You guys have all seen them on, heck, you've probably seen them as listing photos, and you're like, how the heck is this a listing photo on the MLS? But it gets even worse when you start looking on Craigslist, Zillow, furnishfinder.com, even Airbnb. There are some hideous, hideous units. So my goal was to be at least 10% better than my competition. I didn't need to be 100% better than my competition. That wouldn't be good ROI or good return on my investment when it came to furniture. But I needed to be 10% better than my competition because my focus is being occupied and having even really good retention of my guests, which I'll talk about as well. So I posted these photos on the internet, and naturally the internet went wild, which means about 4 people commented. And every comment was, how did you furnish this from New Zealand? To which I responded, oh, my team. Truth be told, my team was my mom, my dad, and my grandma, who I did pay. As I mentioned, I don't come from money, so they're not working for free. I'm not working for free. So I paid them to furnish this unit. And what I realized through that conversation on this Facebook thread was that there was a challenge for real estate investors like yourselves who are investing long distance, usually not from New Zealand and Nebraska, but let's say you live in Idaho and you want to invest in Ohio. Well, you're likely not going to drop what you're doing. Your real estate commissions pay you way more than putting together furniture in Ohio. And so you would pay for someone to do this for you. And that is how Aria Design Services was born. So I now run a 6-figure business We are profitable. We are scaling and growing sustainably. And we help real estate investors analyze. So if you already own a property and you're wondering, should I furnish it? If you're looking at buying a property and you're like, oh my God, can someone like Sarah help me analyze this? The answer is yes, yes, I can. And then we can also furnish it for you. We can send the furniture there and you and someone you hire puts it together, or my team and my designer will fly out and do it for you. And then of course we help you launch it. We're writing your listing description, we're writing a kick-ass listing title, giving you your house manual, everything that you need to get that 5-star review. Now, I'm sure you guys want to see the numbers on the property. So let me show you. Here is what I purchased it for. Again, this was May 2021, and this is in Omaha, Nebraska. I purchased it for $320,000. The current rent, they are all furnished units, and I rent them each for $1,875. You take that times 4, that's $7,500. Now, the PITI, which stands for principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, or the monthly payment, is $2,017. So Cari, would you buy this rental property?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm a big, yes, I would. But I know your story, so that's a trick question. So, but yes, I would. I know
Yeah,
why.
you guys, these numbers are fantastic. Like the ROI on this is amazing. The ability to furnish a unit one
Yeah.
time, sure, there's some turnover, but
Yeah.
what's great about these medium-term guests, which I'm going to talk about now, is these medium-term guests, they're not staying for 2 nights or 3 nights. They're not causing me, a nomadic person that is self-managing this unit, they're not causing me any headache because they're checking out after about 87 nights. That's my average stay across all of my MTRs. And then 47% of them are extending their stay. Sometimes they're extending 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. I had one guest stay in my unit for 10 months. You know what that means? That's 10 months of no issues, 10 months of 100% occupancy, no text with my cleaner, no automated message like that I need to check. Everything is taken care of, and these guests are fabulous. You are paying utilities and lawn care. And so I will show you guys later on kind of how those numbers break out. In no way are your utilities costing you $5,000. And so as you can see here, there's plenty of margin. Plus, it's really, really nice to own a furnished rental. So this is why I love the MTR strategy. You have the ability to scale. So as you can see, there's my cute little blue building. Well, guess what? I bought the building next door. So now I have 8 units next door to each other. Someone once called it a boutique hotel. No, it's not. These are just 2 fourplexes next door to each other, and they're all furnished units. What's really nice about having multiple units in a market, especially a market you don't live in, is you're building one team with one handyman, backup handyman, one cleaner, backup cleaners. But then also, when you have a guest inquire about this unit, but the dates don't work out, guess what? You can move them into this unit. And so I'm able to keep 93% occupancy all of last year. The year before, 2022, I was at 97% occupancy. And so, yes, my units are incredibly occupied, and I've ran into very little trouble, even with things like COVID slowing down. The need for travel nurses is actually higher than ever because of burnout. So, all of those staff nurses that went through COVID, guess what? They're either quitting or they're becoming travel nurses and they're leaving their hospital. And so I recently had the very unfortunate experience of spending quite a bit of time in the ICU with my grandfather, and his entire nursing staff were travel nurses. And so travel nurses are stronger than ever, and they're fantastic guests. They basically just sleep in the unit. And so make sure you have blackout curtains, incredible bed with great linens, and they're going to not only be happy, but they're going to extend their stay and tell their staff about you. So I want to do a quick little mindset check-in. Cari, this might be a little difficult with everyone being live, but if anyone can either put in the chat or those of us on Zoom, is there anything that you are kind of thinking like, okay, good for you, but, or yeah, this sounds great, but I'd like to talk about your but and figure out like what are some of the mindset hurdles or challenges you have around either owning an MTR or owning an out of state rental. And Cari, let me know if there's anything.
I'm looking at the live chat. Nobody's chatted yet, but we have a number of people watching. You guys don't be shy. Just go ahead and chat, comment below and I'll watch them. Anybody in the live have anything first? I think this is a good conversation because I mean, you guys, Sarah's doing it. She's done it. And we always think that somebody else can do it, but why can't we? So I love this check-in.
Yeah, absolutely. What type of
Kendra.
loan are you using? Kendra says, what type of loan are you using to know how much you need as a down payment? Great question, Kendra. So I'm using a number of different strategies. So the first strategy on that very first house, I did what we call the house hacking strategy. So I used an owner occupied loan and I lived in the house for a year with roommates. You guys, that is not the like soup that I'm selling. I don't think that everyone should be doing that. If you're a kick-ass real estate agent making six figures or more, don't worry, you don't need to move. But I like to start off with that because if anyone is just starting out, or if your real estate sales have slowed down, really look into using that owner occupied loan. And it is delayed gratification for sure to move into a house that's eventually going to be a rental, but it doesn't have to be. You could live in a neighborhood that you've always wanted to live in, especially if it's a larger home, like a 4 bedroom, and then move out and turn it into an MTR and then rent to what we call displaced insurance policy holders. So, what a displaced insurance policy holder is any family or individual who can no longer live in their house because of likely a natural disaster or man-made disaster. So think of pipes burst, created black mold, a tree fell on your house, God forbid a fire, hurricane, tornado, whatever reason the house is no longer livable, that person or family now needs somewhere to live. Well, guess what? They're going to move into your very nice furnished 4 bedroom house, and you're likely going to get 2 to 4 times what you would get as a long term rental. And so that's one strategy. Kendra, how I bought this tan building that you see is I actually partnered with someone. So for a lot of you, you might be thinking, ugh, I don't want a partner. Well, let me tell you, having a partner is great if you set the right expectations. So not with this partner, because this was my partner I learned this about, but on my last 2 deals that I've done with partners, I set the expectation that I wanted a silent partner. There's not going to be multiple cooks in the kitchen. You are silent. So I found high net worth individuals. Hint, these are probably your favorite clients. And they have money. You already know that because you just sold them, a $2 million house and their maybe son another $1 million house. These people are looking for tax ways to save money on taxes. So guess what? You can buy a fourplex like this in Nebraska. They can put down the entire down payment. So Kendra, you come to the table with $0 and you can split cash flow and equity however you like. You can split it 50-50, 60-40, 70-30. It doesn't matter. And then if you need a negotiating tool, one of the levers that I can pull is I can give them the entire tax benefit. So if they want all of the bonus depreciation or the depreciation, I can give that to them. I don't like to do that because I also am a high income earner. So I want some of the tax benefits as well. And so I am offering 50-50 of that as well. So that's one option. And then the other option, Kendra, is if neither of those work for you, do a traditional conventional loan. For those of you that do qualify conventionally, I know us real estate agents are not these lenders' favorite because of that good old 1099 that we have. But that is a 20 or 25% down investment loan through your conventional lender that you likely already have a great relationship with. And then lastly, if that doesn't work, you can always use what's called a DSCR loan. So debt service coverage ratio. And what's really cool about these, us 1099ers, self-employed people, is they don't even care that we have a job, let alone that we're self-employed. They are basing the loan solely off of the number and the income and the performance of the property. And
Mm,
so all of these loan products are available to you. I could go on, I could probably think of seven more, but those are the four most common. And if this interests you guys, like this is what I love teaching about. I feel like, I mean, Cari, I've known you for 7 years. I've been in this real estate investing space for almost 8 years. This is all I do. All I do is I teach people about this. So if
mhm,
you guys want me to teach you, if you want to teach your clients, one other income stream that you guys should be thinking about, real estate agents, is once you buy a cash flowing duplex in Iowa or Ohio or Oklahoma, and you start telling your clients in Phoenix, Arizona about it, guess what? They're going to want one too. And so
mhm,
then you can refer them to that investor friendly agent in Indiana, Ohio, Oklahoma, it doesn't matter. And that can be yet another stream of income for you. Plus, imagine giving your favorite clients, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, who you just sold, another primary home to. Imagine giving them a way to create passive income and create tax savings and build equity and wealth. You are going to be their favorite person, not just their favorite agent. This is such a great tool in your toolbox, as well as an additional stream of income, and then use that commission, heck, use your regular commission to buy rental property. Everyone here should be buying at least one rental property a year, mostly for the tax benefits,
mhm,
let alone that you're building equity, building cash flow, so on and so forth. So,
mhm,
Cari, I'm going to keep going, but if there's anyone else,
mhm,
let me know. I'm going to
mhm.
skip through some of these slides. I talk about how I bought the building next door, but I want to get to some of the numbers. So, guys, this is what it looks like if I had done a long-term rental.
Yep.
So I bought the building next door for 328,000. Yes, that is market value in 2021. We're probably looking closer to like 450 today for this type of fourplex, maybe even 475. So look, I have equity in the property. Yes, even in places like Nebraska, there are appreciation. It's not as sexy as Phoenix or, Austin, but we still have some appreciation. And keep in mind that my tenants are paying down my principal. You guys, I'm not paying down my principal, my tenants are. So I don't owe 328 on this. I owe closer to like about 240 on this. And as I said, it's worth about 475. So that's some really fun equity. Next is, let's look at the current rent. So the current rent when I purchased it was about 775 a unit, only bringing in about 3,100 in rent. With a new monthly payment of 2,000, guys, that's not very sexy. I $167 of cash flow. That's for all four units. Right? I'm not excited about that kind of money, right? Like that's not great. So, and then the math down here, just so anyone's a numbers person, I only consider 70% of the rental income because I set 30% aside. I think I have the numbers down here. There we go. 5% for capital expenditures, 5% for maintenance and repairs, 10% for property management, 8% for vacancy, and 2% for utilities and lawn care, only because I actually knew the numbers. Don't, what I'm saying is don't write down 2% utilities. That's not actual math. But this is not an exciting deal. But when I employ the MTR, the medium term rental strategy, you guys watch how these numbers change. You're going to see this 3,100 is going to change to 7,500. Now, that is a deal that I'm excited about because when you take even 5% capital expenditures, maintenance, repair, property management, vacancy, lawn care, and utilities, you're looking at a cash flow that's pure profit every single month of 2,500. I don't know about you guys, but I could use an extra 2,500 month in and month out, especially when one of these units only has four tenants a year. We're not talking 2 night, 3 night stays. We're not talking middle of the night, they're calling you. These are class act tenants. They're my favorite tenants. They're fantastic. They usually are improving the unit as time goes on. So these are some of the actual numbers you can get. I'm going to show you guys one more example. But before I do, I literally wrote the book on the medium term rental strategy. Some of you have likely heard of Bigger Pockets. It's really kind of your one-stop shop for learning about real estate investing. And I am blessed enough that they published my book, 30 Day Stay, a real estate investor's guide to mastering the medium term rental. And this is a step-by-step guide. So if you use the name Sarah, Sarah, you can get 10% off at Bigger Pockets, or you can easily purchase it on Amazon. I encourage you guys, don't just buy it, but read it. It really is a great introduction to real estate investing, in addition to, of course, a step-by-step guide on the medium-term rental. Now, here's one more example. Just wanted to make sure you guys know I didn't just buy two good deals in Omaha. I also bought this duplex. It is a duplex. I know it looks like a single family, but it's an up-down duplex, as we say. They're 2-bedroom, 1-bath units, both upstairs and downstairs. And I bought it for $180,500. Yes, that is how much a duplex cost in 2022. And it was completely turnkey, Cari. So like this was absolutely everything was new. It was gutted and flipped by a flipper. The flipper made great money on the deal, and I made a great deal by purchasing it and turning the upstairs into a medium-term rental. So as you can see, I employed what I call the hybrid strategy. So I have a long-term tenant on the bottom paying $850. My monthly payment is only $884. So my one tenant in the bottom unit almost covers my entire monthly payment. And then upstairs, I'm renting it out for $1,900 a month. And so this is a great deal. And I bought this with a partner. So I actually came to the deal with $0. I found it, I manage it, and I get cash flow every month. We've already paid ourselves, this partnership, I think we've already done owner distributions of about $15,000 each. And I only bought this in 2022. And so my partner is really happy. I'm really happy, and it continues to be a really great deal. And of course, my tenants are paying down my principal. The area is improving, so it has appreciated. I mean, we're not talking millions of dollars here, but there's so much potential in real estate. In addition, we're both getting the tax benefits. So here's some of the tools that make it possible. I'm going to breeze through these if you guys want to grab a screenshot. These are some of the tools that I use. Facebook Hospitable. I run leases through Avail or apartments.com, and I already mentioned Google Voice. And then I think this is super, super helpful. You guys can go to sarahbweaver.com/tools to see some of the other tools that I use to run my rentals and self-manage 19 units from afar while traveling full-time. All right, we talked about displaced insurance policyholders. I want to give you guys this tool. I could have done a presentation just on how I pick a market, but frankly, I find it to be a really boring presentation. And so I gave you guys more or less, this is a chapter in my book, but I also show you not only the metrics that I look at to find a market and analyze a market, but I also show you the websites that I use to do that research. Or better yet, I teach you how to use ChatGPT and make it super easy. So grab that. Fun fact, did you guys know you could take a picture of this and then later look at the picture and hold down on your iPhone and it'll send you to the URL? So if you're ever in a situation where you're like, can't get your internet working, or you're like, damn it, I don't know how these kids get these QR codes to work all the time, don't worry, just simply snap a photo of this and you can do it later. I think that's a really, really fun fact.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. So lastly, I want to show you guys, this is what real estate investors look like. They are not, stuffy, wealthy people, even though, gosh, don't we love some of our wealthy clients? But this is what real estate investors look like. They're young, they're vibrant, they're exciting. They want to go on these cool trips, like a luxury African safari or a super, super difficult hike in Tanzania called Kilimanjaro, or they want to hike in Patagonia or hang out in a cabin in the Smoky Mountains or go to a 17-bedroom mansion in Nashville. This is what I do. I take real estate investors on epic trips around the world because I believe bucket list experiences should be a tax write-off. And then we should learn about real estate investing in a fun environment. So if you guys have liked this, you want to learn more about how to grow your portfolio and save hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes, consider coming on one of my trips. So I have a trip coming up in November. So it's still quite a ways out for those of you that want to plan ahead. So you can grab this URL. You guys are invited. If you don't own a property yet, you are still invited, but only if you're serious about real estate investing. I don't like it when a looky-loo snags one of these spots to a retreat. But if you don't own a property yet, that is A-okay. little Stacy here in the orange hat, she did not own a property. She spent 21 days with me hiking Kilimanjaro and a 9-day African safari. And 4 days after she got back, she bought her first rental property in Los Angeles, of all places. What's really fun, fast forward to this week, I'm in Newport Beach. I actually drank mezcal with her lender on Tuesday. So super fun. I love connections. But it is possible for you to own a rental property before the end of the year if you don't yet. However, most of my people that come on my trips do own anywhere between 2 and 10 units. Now, if you guys want more information, if you're like, okay, Sarah, that sounds good and all, but how the hell do I actually do this? I really want to help you. This is what I do. This is why I was put on this earth. And I wasn't kidding. It really is my mission. I want to help real estate agents create a stream of income so that you're not affected by market turns. You're not affected by your best showing assistant quitting or your grandmother getting sick, or worse yet, your mom going into the hospital. I want you to have money coming in, like $2,500 from one fourplex in Omaha, Nebraska, so that you can focus on the things that matter. You tell me that you want passive income, you tell me that you want cash flow. But I have to be honest with you guys, no one's coming to save you. Like, no one's going to come and analyze deals for you, pick a market for you. You can keep telling me that you want to own rental property, but until you take action, nothing's going to happen. So my hope is that you see this. It's only 3 days into Q2. This is like the best time to make a really big decision. And I really empower you guys to make the decision to buy a rental property this year. You don't have to buy an empire. You don't need to buy 8. Just buy one rental property this year. I know that it will change your life for the better.
Mm.
One more guide. This is a 4-minute video showing you exactly how I price my MTRs. This is the question I get probably the most, Cari, is how do I know how much it's going to rent for? Well, this is a super boring 4-minute video that I made for you guys. And I call it super boring because I think you're going to watch it and you're going to be like, whoa, that's it. And that's the whole point, is I make it really easy to understand, really simple. This is not rocket science. Even if you don't like math, I bet you like money, so you can learn to get better at math. And so I hope that video is helpful. And then lastly, connect with me. I actually love hearing from you guys, like love, love, love hearing from you guys. So please reach out to me. Instagram is a great way. My email, which I'll put in the chat, it's just hello@SarahDeaver. If you want one-on-one support, if you want group support, if you don't want support at all, and you just want to tell me how awesome I am, I welcome all of the messages. If there's anything that I said that you have follow-up questions on, like Kendra, I loved your question about how did I finance these deals? If you want contacts for the DSCR lender or even a conventional lender that works nationwide, please reach out.
I am copying and pasting all of this and putting it underneath of the live stream because we have a lot of people watching the live stream. It might still be, I was just thinking about that spring break in some areas. So I've got lots of people watching live, even more so than usual. So I put all of the tools, the trips, the guide, Sarah's Instagram, her email, everything underneath the live stream for you guys as well. Please reach out to her. As you can tell, I mean, we only had her here for, talking for 45, 50 minutes. She's a plethora of information. She's living what she speaks out. She loves to help agents. You guys know that I am as passionate about helping you all build wealth as she is. Not being attached to every single real estate transaction for your money is a very freeing thing, not only financially, but really, quite frankly, just for your life and being able to create that life by design, because things do come up. And if you can't sell a house, you should still be able to pay your bills and have an exit strategy from this awesome career as well. So Sarah and I are on the same wavelength with that. She can help you do that. I'd encourage you to connect with her if this called your name, and you can continue to do that for the months ahead. If you find this video out on my YouTube, or you find this in EXP Family Tree a month or 2 months, Sarah's still going to be there. Please reach out to her anytime. She wants to help you, whether it's today or in the next months ahead. And pass the information on. If you can share it with somebody that you think would benefit from it, we'd sure appreciate it, because when we pay it forward, we help more people get what they want. We know it happens. We get everything that we want. Sarah, thank you so much for taking time today. I know you're super busy. I knew you were on a road trip. I really appreciate this. I think this is going to be really, really awesome to be able to just expose this topic to all of our 9,500 people here. And then, of course, those that are watching on YouTube is really a blessing. So thanks for joining me.
Oh, thank you so much. I know, isn't this, I'm at a, hip, cool, very expensive co-working space. And this is like this really weird green booth. And so
I love it.
I love it. Carrie, thank you so, so much. I can't stress enough like how fired up I get about teaching real estate agents in particular.
Yeah.
So if there's ever an opportunity to get in front of more of you, if you guys ever want to have me in person, I really am fully nomadic. So I'm flying to San Francisco in a few months just to teach real estate agents live and in person. And so if there's ever an opportunity, if you guys need more of this, if you want me to teach a presentation just on how to pick a market, I promise I won't make it boring. Let me
Yes.
know. I just want to continue to support you guys because I think this is possible for anyone.
It is. It's totally possible for anyone, and we need to see people doing it, and those that really are passionate about teaching what they've learned, and you are definitely that. So we are going to certainly continue to pass your name around. There's lots of places around the country that we are located. We'd love to have you as a guest. So as you're making your travels, let's stay in touch. You guys reach out to Sarah for any of those things. Thanks for joining as always. We'll see you back here next Wednesday. Bye, Sarah. Thank you, guys.
Bye.